Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. The wrestling world is still talking about Thursday's spring cleaning at WWE, which saw Samoa Joe, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, Mickie James, Chelsea Green, Mojo Rawley, Tucker, Bo Dallas, and Wesley Blake all let go from the company. Now, over the weekend, more was revealed about what certain people plan to do next, pitches that WWE dropped for characters, and just how dissatisfied a lot of people were with their booking. And now, according to Earwig General Dave Meltzer, that dissatisfaction may be what led a few people to lose their jobs. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer explained that a couple of the release names had complained about their booking, which could have contributed to them being let go. He said there were a couple of people that got cut because of, how would I say it? I heard this about two different people, about just one person was pouting that they weren't on WrestleMania, that did not help them, and another person had kind of complained about their booking. When you're marginal talent that's not being used and then you complain about it, it's not like you're a top guy, and that didn't help their cause either. So that was some of it. Now, of those 10 names, only Billie Kay worked WrestleMania in-ring, while Joe was on commentary and wearing a rather fetching poncho, the right hand of dryness. Now, I think if WWE genuinely needs to save money, then they can do whatever they like when it comes to releasing their talent. They are a business after all. But we are entitled to think that it's really crappy behavior. And I also would get that you wouldn't necessarily want people there who are dissatisfied with the plans you had for them, working for you and bringing the whole mood down. But the problem is, all of this is wrapped up in wrestling's kind of bananas brass ring mythology, where it's like baked into the culture that you've got to push for what you want and grab opportunities when they're presented to you. So if in your eyes you aren't getting opportunities, what are you supposed to do? Because they'll say, you need to speak up and make a chance for yourself, and then they'll also fire you when you do that. And that has got to feel like a real kick in the teeth sometimes when you see these storylines that might have just made you pass you by because of WWE's mercurial nature, which is a lovely way of saying Vince tearing up scripts. For instance, Chelsea Green, who spoke to the Dong Lord SRS on Fightful Select about her main roster call-up and the utter confusion around it. Speaking about one moment when she tagged with Charlotte Flair, she said, "When I was out there at the very end of the match, I heard Charlotte. Charlotte raised my hand and said something like, she is going to be next, or something along the line that made me think that I was going to be partnered with her, or I was going to be her protege. And then I kind of heard rumblings of that in the weeks after that. I was going to be, I don't want to say the next Charlotte, but coming up behind her with her as my mentor." Which is amazing. Like, I don't know if you can get a better spot than that. And then kind of radio silence until the next storyline I heard about. I heard about a lot of storylines. And that's just got to be so bloody annoying, because if there is any set of coattails that you want to ride, it's a Flair's. They're kind of glittery and they've got a nice fur trim. But as Green said, that is only one of a number of potential storylines she heard about. Another was a Pussycat Dolls meets Charlie's Angels style faction with Vanessa Bourne and Santana Garrett, aka the other missing call-ups. Now, the faction was supposed to debut sometime in early 2020, and all three women reportedly met with the writers to discuss the idea, but it never actually made it to TV. And do you think this idea was a goer, or do you think Chelsea Green would have been better as Charlotte Flair's protege? Let me know your thoughts and pitches in the comments down below, because I will be replying from here, from my house where I am. Now, here's an interesting story that came out during an interview Inside the Ropes conducted with Cinta de Oro, formerly known in WWE as Hunico and later Sin Cara. Now, the star was released by the company in 2019 after asking to be let out of his contract, but talking about his time in the E, he said that at one point they made him attend anger management classes after a series of backstage altercations with the likes of Chris Jericho and Simon Gotch. He said, "Yeah, I got sent to anger management classes. That's true. And well, I had to do it because I had a couple of altercations throughout my career in the company. But, the thing about us is that as wrestlers, as performers, we may have a disagreement one day and we can take it out on ourselves, and then the next day we'll be fine. No grudge, nothing. It was just that spur of the moment, and that's it." He then proved that by saying, "Sheamus and me are really good friends. Me and Jericho have no problem. Simon Gotch, I wish him the best. We're not friends." Everyone hates Simon Gotch. Sin Cara did clarify after that he doesn't wish Gotch ill and that he doesn't reckon he has an anger problem, but wanted to see if he needed help. So good on him. From degenerate behavior in the locker room to someone who takes it to the it's hard to say, X degree, and made it into the Hall of Fame because of it twice now, actually, x-pac. Sami Zayn has been talking up Sean Waltman after reminiscing about the time Waltman as the 1-2-3 Kid faced off against some guy called El Generico at Shikara's King of Trios Night 3 event. No idea why Zayn is interested in this, they're different people. Zayn tweeted saying, "I asked if I could wrestle him at SummerSlam 2 years ago." X-pac, that is, not the other guy. Whatever happened to that other guy? Then Waltman waded into the conversation and revealed that the match didn't come together because of health/injury issues he was having, but left the door open for something in the future. He tweeted, "I had a few health/injury issues that needed addressing at that time. Now that I've taken care of them, there's always next #SummerSlam. If that's something people want to see, #WWE. He then corrected himself shortly after this, saying that he meant next year's SummerSlam. That door he left open, widening ever so slightly. Soon it will just be like, any SummerSlam. I meant any SummerSlam, give me a match. Because people love talking about one more match when they've been out of the ring for a while, and someone who people are keenly interested in returning to the ring for one last go around the ropes is John Cena, who we last saw in WWE graciously putting over The Fiend and being subsumed into the kind of cosmic unconscious of the Firefly Funhouse realm, or some other bollocks. Now, some chat was going around on Twitter about who people would like to see John Cena have his retirement match against, and someone suggested that current NXT champion Karrion Kross might be a good candidate. Now, Kross said that he would be honoured and very ready, and also that selfishly, he hopes that Cena comes back full time for a kind of twice in a lifetime thing. I get you, Kross, I get what you're talking about. He also posted a little picky of Cena to his Instagram to get people speculating, but then Cena posted a picture of Kross to his Instagram and people lost their damn minds. I mean, I'm here for it. I really think that Cena's never give up attitude and Kross's ruthlessness would vibe and produce something that's really special for a retirement match for Big Match John. But that obviously depends on a number of factors, up to and including Cena's current movie schedule, whether or not the main roster has ruined Kross by that point, and Vince. You get the idea. So it's Raw tonight, the most exciting wrestling program of the week, behind all of the other ones. But there are some interesting tidbits of news. First and foremost is a potential tag team that people are mulling over, shall we speak. Because speaking on the bump recently, former United States champion Riddle said that he wants to team up with R-Truth and go after the Raw Tag Team Championships. Then on a later episode of the show, R-Truth was told about this and said, "I am down with that." And then here's the thing, because Vince reportedly likes both men and their comedy chops, so that's probably the kiss of death for the whole idea, isn't it? In stuff that is actually happening news, a couple of matches have been announced for tonight's edition of Raw. A newly returned Charlotte Flair, who laid out Raw Women's Champion Rhea Ripley and Asuka last week while dressed as Matt Riddle, is set to take on the Empress of Tomorrow tonight in what is sure to not have a proper finish. This is a WrestleMania match, you don't just give it away on Raw. Also on the show is Braun Strowman versus Randy Orton, the losers club of the #1 contenders triple threat from last week. Both men were involved in that match last week, but came up short against Drew McIntyre, who's going on to face WWE champion Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania Backlash. Now, speaking of McIntyre, he is going to be looking for answers from T-Bar and Mace, who seem to be in cahoots with MVP when they attacked the Big Mac last week. Mace and T-Bar's inclusion says that Bobby Lashley is going to lose the WWE title, but here's hoping it's good, because Ollie Davis is going to be back tomorrow after his WrestleMania recovery today to tell you just how big of a bag of dicks the whole thing was. WWE had big plans for Aleister Black's WrestleMania return, plans which they scrapped, and you can find out more about that by clicking the video over there, or you can click the one below that to see what Chopper and Tempest, the WWE team name if I ever saw one, made of this week's SmackDown, and the fact that Cesaro, yes, Cesaro himself, could be challenging Roman Reigns. If you like the vid, do the thing, leave a comment, and subscribe here for all your wrestling news needs. I've been El Fakador Laurie Blake, the Jam, that Jampion, and the jammiest bastard who ever lived. Jam that jam.